Hey everyone, it's Murray Sawyer. On March 6th, Randy and I went up to New York City to see our granddaughter Sawyer, a recent college graduate, as she made her way in the big city. We had a wonderful time with her. On that weekend, we went to see To Kill a Mockingbird. The theater was packed. Went to 42nd Street, people everywhere. We took the train home on that Sunday, as crowded as could be. 2 days later, everything came to a halt. So I just wanted to bring you up to date on what life in the life of Westover Capital is like in the times of COVID. Well, first of all, we're all wearing these masks every day. I'm looking at the parking lot. You can't see it, but I can here at 1013 Center Road. It's about 15% filled. Normally it's 85% filled. And that's a good metaphor for what's been going on. Now, I've been coming to work every single day. I haven't missed a day, but the work's changed. Sometimes I walk to work. I live 2 miles away, and if I don't have any appointments, don't need to go out of the office, I walk to work. But when I get here, regardless of whether I've walked or driven, it's the same kind of thing. So I'm sitting now at my desk. I'm going to turn in a second here. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show you my two screens, my stand-up desk that I stand behind every day, looking at what's going on in the markets, what I need to do with respect to client accounts. Nothing's really changed. So COVID hasn't really changed anything I do or the way that I do it, with the exception that the human interaction is much, much reduced. Our ladies, Jen and Erin, left the middle of March. We're out from the middle of March to the middle of July, never once came in. They've been working from home ever since. We have regular calls with them every day, and then in the middle of July, at my request, they started to come back. Each of them comes into the office 1 day a week. Erin on Tuesdays, Jen on Thursdays. But they're interacting with you. You've seen that. We're still making transfers. We're still dealing with administrative matters. The location has changed, but the functions have not. Matt, who's standing right behind that camera, he comes in every day. And I have to commend him because he wears a sport coat every day. I'm wearing this for you, but I don't wear a sport coat necessarily every day. We have Zoom meetings, we have in-person meetings. The in-person meetings are not as frequent, but for example, today Matt met with Jeff Klein and Kathy Reichel in person. Earlier this week, so life goes on. Chip is still doing the sterling work he's always done as our Chief Investment Officer for you. He's selecting stocks and bonds. He's running the same screens I developed way back in the day that he's refined to today, looking at all sorts of financial metrics, taking 6,000 companies, culling them down to 60 per month, giving them colors green, yellow, and red, and then selecting depending on the sectors that the client needs, etc., etc. It's a pretty involved process, but take my word for it, he would never tell you this, but he does it superbly. And speaking of superbly, Matt also does his planning in a way that I hope those of you who have enjoyed that work will agree with me when I say it's fantastic. Roth planning, retirement planning, what you have to do if you're going to go to college with your kids, your grandkids, whatever the planning is, he does it. Me, I still look at the big picture, try to figure out what we're going to do here going forward. How is Westover going to be positioned to help you 2 years from now, 5 years, and 10 years from now? We'll have a pretty exciting announcement in that regard, in regard to the expansion of our service offerings for you in the very near future. So this is a little bit of a tease to tell you that I think you're going to be very pleased when we get back to you in maybe a month and tell you about some more services that Westover can offer for you. So life in general goes on. It's just been modified in the way that we go on. But I still take phone calls. Those of you who've called know that. I place phone calls. We deal with subject matters of your needs and interest, and we will continue to do so. So on balance, I hope you've enjoyed the summer. I hope you'll have a great fall. We'll get back and be able to see sports one of these days. Maybe it's going to be with these masks, but we'll get there. I hope you have a great time in this fall, and be sure, 2 things as I leave you: stay healthy and vote. Take care.